This job, we try to save as many people as we can. Sometimes that doesn't mean everybody. But you don't give up.
The movies, a place where you can escape, a place where families can relax, a place where you can let your imagination run wild. Films play a big part in all our lives, from comedy to romance, sci-fi to western. Films have a lot of influence on people, and a genre that has rose to power over the past decade, superheroes.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
Puny god.
Superhero movies are rising to dominance, with more and more people clambering to the theatre to catch a glimpse of their favourite heroes in action. But what we're here to find out is, are superhero movies becoming oversaturated, or are they as fresh as ever? Let's take you back. The date, May 2nd, 2008, the release of the first Iron Man film. Directed by Jon Favreau, with Robert Downey Jr. as the film's hero. A lot of people were against this casting, even the studio themselves. However, their director refused to give up on the actor, and in an interview with Kevin Smith, this is what he had to say.
You were the first genius on the entire planet who ever said, I know, let's get Robert Downey Jr. for Tony Stark, man.
Yes.
And that's the linchpin.
That was half my job right there, was getting him cast.
Explain, because it was an uphill battle?
It was, yeah, he wasn't, well, you know, now he's the biggest star in the world, right? But if you put yourself back to when it was announced, it was, you know, his track record was not something, you wouldn't expect his face on a Happy Meal, you know. At the time, it was, you know, find somebody, The Mask was the star, find somebody unknown, you'll make the star.
Right.
And go.
The film went on to make a total of $585 million at the worldwide box office. It has a 94% rating on the Rotten meter and is highly regarded by fans all over the world. Little did we know that the film would go on to kickstart a universe that up until today has made $10 billion worldwide. But are the audience getting tired of all these superhero movies? With DC also kickstarting their extended universe, are superhero movies becoming too much? We went around asking people their thoughts on the matter.
Don't look at me. I do what he does, just slower.
No, I don't think there's too many superhero films. I think the companies that are making them are supplying to demand them to what people want.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't even seen every superhero film that's been released so far, and I already think there's too many. I haven't seen things like Ant-Man or Civil War or anything like that.
I absolutely do not think there are too many. I think that as long as the market determines the success that it's given us with superhero films, then that gives us the answer. And right now, in 2016, we have had 3 superhero films, and all 3 of them are in the top 5 highest grossing films of the year.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like there's one coming out like every 2 months, every year. It's way too many.
With the quality of superhero films, it is no wonder that audiences are raving about them. However, it is not just the audience that are attracted to these films. We've already established stars like Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson, and newcomers like Jeff Goldblum and Cate Blanchett. It is no wonder that these films make so much money with the star power at their disposal.
Mostly the profile and the exposure. I mean, if you see someone in a Marvel film these days, they essentially become a household name. Who knew of Chris Evans? Who regularly spoke of Chris Evans before Captain America? And there is some people out there who would love to play their favorite superheroes for the sake of, I grew up with these characters, I'm finally going to be able to portray one. But it is mostly the exposure.
Well, I mean, I wish there was a better answer, but honestly, right now, the superhero genre brings in more money than any other genre, and I think these actors are drawn into that simply because of the paychecks involved. Now, I mean, there are people like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman that just absolutely love and adore the characters that they represent, and so those actors do exist, and people like Christian Bale, who I'm not sure Christian Bale really knew anything about Batman prior to becoming Batman.
Obviously, the money's going to count. Some actors want to be their favorite superheroes, such as Ben Affleck playing Batman. He wanted to play Batman. He's always loved to be Batman as a kid.
I think it's just because they're such high profile roles. I mean, everybody, even if you're not a superhero movie fan, you know of the movies that are coming out. So it just helps them become more popular in general with general audiences.
Between 2016 and 2020, there are 34 superhero films, both confirmed and rumoured. But is this too much? That's a lot of popcorn.
Listen to these words. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Now bring it down hard. Someday, put it together.
What are you doing?
Dance off, bro. Me and you. Come on.
It just comes down to the quality of the films. And as we speak, I would say the heavy majority of superhero films are extremely well done. You know, you have your Fantastic Four from last year, you know, and you have the occasional misstep here or there. I didn't like Batman v Superman at all. I just was not happy with that movie. And so if we continue to get films like Batman v Superman and Fantastic Four and, you know, X-Men The Last Stand, then we're probably going to be dealing with, you know, some issues moving forward with the genre.
Absolutely. Yeah. 34 films within 4 years. That's ridiculous. Like, who could afford to go see all those? I've been to see one film in the past month or so, and I still regret it. Not because it was a bad film, but because it cost me so much.
In my own opinion, I don't think it is. At the end of the day, I think it's the film companies that aren't producing enough of other films for there to be an entire variety within the cinema. And the fact that the superhero movies is such a big market, everyone's just creating superhero movies. So everyone's just going to follow the trend to make more money because that's how the world works.
Yeah, definitely, because I mean, you think about that, if it's like £10 per ticket, that's like over £300 from one audience member if they want to go and see every single film. So yeah, that's just a ridiculous number.
So split opinions all around, but what is it that draws the audience into these stories and characters? What is it that connects us as film fans?
It's got a good blend of action, comedy, its own unique brand of comedy that unfortunately Hollywood is starting to swallow up and incorporate into everything nowadays, that kind of fast talking, smart ass routine that most of the characters have. But it's popular. That's a popular style of humour with the common audiences these days. And the actors themselves not only do such a great performance, but they're also such like they're active on social media and in communities, and they make themselves known, and the actors themselves are popular.
Well, as I said before, different people want to be their superheroes. And as a child, when I grew up, I wanted to be a superhero. And the fact that you can immerse into a different fantasy, a different area, you get pulled in. And it's one of those, as soon as you're pulled in, you're hooked. And then once you're hooked, you want more, and then that's what keeps happening.
Like I told you earlier, I'm 37 years old. I grew up in a time where reading comic books and being into superhero movies wasn't considered cool at a young age. It wasn't part of pop culture. It wasn't this really widespread phenomenon like it is today. But what happened is people my age that I'm not a comic book expert, but I did grow up reading some comics and reading certain characters like Batman and, you know, Superman and Image Comics with Spawn and Savage Dragon and, you know, Shadowhawk and Uncanny X-Men with Marvel. And so, you know, so my generation that were, you know, when we were younger, this wide phenomenon for superheroes wasn't there, but now that we've become older, this you know, I would say 25 to 40 demographic on age, we are driving pop culture now.
It remains to be seen whether the rate of these movies will continue to thrive or decline. Let us know what you think. Now go on, I'm watching a movie.
I know I'm asking a lot. The price of freedom is high. It always has been. And it's a price I'm willing to pay. And if I'm the only one, then so be it. But I'm willing to bet I'm not.